Have you ever wondered if your honesty is harming your children? In this video, I'll reveal the 9 shocking truths you should never share with them, and the last one will leave you speechless. You won't believe how these secrets can shape their future. But before we begin, I want you to pay close attention to the story, as it will be very important for you to understand the great lesson of this video. Carmen, a 40-year-old mother, believed total honesty was key to a united family. With 2 teenagers, she believed that if everyone was open and shared everything, there wouldn't be any problems. But what if that honesty becomes a double-edged sword? Carmen saw her life like an open book, wanting her kids to read everything, but some pages should stay closed. What secret will change everything? Before starting, if you find value in these videos, please subscribe and click on the bell to stay updated. 1. The danger of sharing too much. Have you ever thought about how a bank account number can change family life? Think of it like a pressure cooker. If you open it too soon, everything spills out. That's how Carmen felt after she accidentally told her kids about her financial problems. The mood at home changed, and her children started to worry about things they shouldn't. Child psychologist Dr. Juan Perez says, kids can't handle complicated money issues. Sharing too much can cause unnecessary stress, which Carmen felt. So, how can you talk about money with kids without sharing too much? It's like making soup. You need the right ingredients. A study found that kids form money habits by age 7. Carmen learned to teach ideas like, we live within our means, instead of saying, we don't have money. The well-known Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget said, the main goal of education is to help people do new things. When it comes to money, this means teaching kids to be smart with finances. Carmen started financial game nights. By playing Monopoly, her children learned about budgeting and saving without stress. When her kids asked questions, Carmen guided them by asking, why do you think it's important to know? This helped answer their worries without giving too much information. Using simple examples like saving as planting a seed and debt as digging a hole made money less scary. It's about guiding children, not burdening them with adult worries. 2. Couple conflicts, a taboo topic for children. If you think keeping money secrets is hard, think about how tough it is to deal with a couple of arguments without involving the kids. Imagine the home as a ship. The parents are the captains and the kids are the crew. If the captains fight about where to go, it creates chaos. That's what happened when Carmen and her husband argued about their work schedules. When Carmen accidentally said, your father never comes home, she was looking for support from her kids. Dr. John Gottman warns that when parents involve kids in their problems, it causes division and stress, which Carmen saw in her children's sleeping and school issues. How can parents manage fights without involving kids? Child psychologist Dr. Ross Campbell says to show a united front. Carmen set a rule for closed doors for serious talks. What if children realize something is wrong? Honest communication is important. Carmen learned to say, Mom and Dad are disagreeing, but we're working it out. After resolving issues privately, they made sure to spend quality time with their children, like enjoying dessert together. When kids ask about marital problems, Carmen answers with questions like, why do you think we're arguing? This method, called active listening, helps her understand their worries without giving too much information. Dr. Benjamin Spock noted that kids observe well, but often misunderstand. Carmen and her husband also implemented regular date nights to strengthen their relationship and show their children that love requires work, like maintaining a car to prevent breakdowns. 3. The past, best left behind. Even with care, some engine parts are best left alone. Have you thought about which memories from your past could change how your kids see you? Some photos should stay hidden. Carmen learned this lesson the hard way when she shared a story from her past with her teenage kids. One quiet Sunday, she talked about nearly dropping out of college after forging a signature. Carmen didn't expect her kids to react in shock. Psychologist Carl Jung said, "What parents do has a greater impact on children than what they say." Alejandro asked, "Mom, how can you tell us to be honest after that?" Dr. Daniel Siegel advises parents to be careful when sharing past experiences because they can confuse or upset kids. Instead of telling everything, Carmen could have said, "I once doubted my path, but I learned the importance of honesty." Carmen and her husband started family story nights to share stories about their ancestors and traditions, connecting the past to the future. 4. Dangerous comparisons. Talking about other children. Have you ever considered that a simple compliment could become a heavy burden for your child? Words are like seeds. Some help grow, while others can stifle their emotional growth. Carmen was about to plant a seed that would unexpectedly affect her son's emotional garden. On a summer afternoon, while talking with a friend, Carmen heard her friend praise her son Marcos's soccer skills. Trying to be nice, Carmen said, "I wish my Alejandro had that talent." Little did she know, 10-year-old Alejandro heard her. The Greek philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not the things that upset us, but our views about them." Carmen's opinion about Alejandro's skills hurt him, making him withdrawn and less excited. To motivate her children without making comparisons, Carmen tried a new approach. She compared Alejandro to his past self, saying, "Remember when you couldn't kick the ball without falling? Look how much you've improved." This helps kids see their progress and builds their confidence. When kids compare themselves to others, Carmen encourages a growth mindset. She said, "Marcos practices a lot in soccer. If you want to improve, we can practice together." She celebrated small wins and reminded others, every child has their talents. 5. The myth of parental perfection. Imagine being a juggler in a circus, trying to keep all the balls in the air. If one falls, does that mean the show is ruined? Not really. It could turn out to be the most genuine moment. Carmen found herself in a tough spot. After years of trying to be the perfect mother, always patient and in control, she accidentally cut herself while making dinner and let out a curse word. Her children gasped, "Mom said a bad word." This moment broke the image of perfection. Psychologist Dr. Brad Bushman says kids need to see their parents as human to have realistic expectations. Instead of apologizing or ignoring it, Carmen used the moment to teach a lesson. "Guys, Mom makes mistakes sometimes, and that's okay. What matters is how we respond." This helped her kids feel less pressure to be perfect. Dr. Brené Brown believes that vulnerability is not about winning or losing. It's about having the courage to be real. Because Carmen was brave, her children felt safe to share their own mistakes. Alejandro said he felt silly at school, while Sofía shared her fears about fitting in. To show she could be vulnerable while still being a good parent, Carmen said, "I don't have all the answers, but let's find them together." She started family growth moments to talk about mistakes and how to improve, strengthening her bond with her kids. 6. The family secrets. When to reveal and when to protect. Imagine your family as a house of cards, where each card stands for a truth. Carmen faced a tough choice one Sunday when she found an old letter in the attic. The letter revealed that her grandfather, who she admired as a war hero, was a deserter. Dr. Evan Imber Black, who studies family secrets, says that secrets can either protect or harm families. Carmen felt torn between telling the truth and wanting to protect her family's reputation. She always believed in honesty, but worried that sharing this secret could hurt her grandfather's memory and her children's feelings. Philosopher Immanuel Kant believed that lying is always wrong, But Carmen asked her friend Sofía, a child psychologist. Sofía reassured her that children are stronger than we think. Mitch Albom wrote that family secrets are like hidden cancer. They grow when no one is watching. Understanding this, Carmen decided to tell the truth. She gathered her children and said, "Remember the stories about your great-grandfather? There's more to the story." She explained that he was a complicated person who made difficult choices. To her surprise, her children didn't feel disappointed. Instead, they were curious and understanding. Dr. Dan Siegel notes that sharing complex family stories helps children understand life better. Carmen realized that revealing this secret enriched her children's view of their great-grandfather and led to discussions about courage and forgiveness. Carmen also noticed that her unspoken expectations could shape her children's lives. When her oldest son, Alejandro, announced he wanted to study art at university, she was shocked. She had unknowingly pushed her ambitions onto him. To fix this, Carmen talked openly with Alejandro, telling him that his happiness was more important than any career choice. She learned to support his passions and began monthly dream conversations, giving them a safe space to explore their goals. This trust allowed Alejandro to embrace what he truly loved. 7. Unspoken words, a double-edged sword. Have you ever thought about how the things you don't say can affect someone's future? Imagine your thoughts as invisible balloons floating over your children's heads. Even if you don't say them, your hopes and dreams for them can still influence their choices. Carmen discovered this when her eldest son, Alejandro, announced he wanted to study art at university. She was shocked, not because she didn't support him, but because she had always imagined him pursuing a business career. Without realizing it, Carmen had been projecting her dreams onto Alejandro. She never directly told him to go into business, but her comments about success and enthusiasm for his math skills made him feel expected to follow that path. This made Carmen wonder if her unspoken expectations were affecting Alejandro. Carmen decided to have an honest talk with Alejandro. She told him, "Your happiness is more important to me than any career you choose." This conversation opened up their relationship. Alejandro admitted he had thought about studying business just to please her, even though his true passion was art. Carmen realized her job as a parent wasn't to decide Alejandro's path, but to guide and support him. She started using what she called the mirror method, reflecting her children's interests instead of pushing her ideas. She asked Alejandro, "How do you see your love for art growing in the future?" This helped him think about his dreams. To further support her kids, Carmen started having monthly dream conversations, where they talked about their goals without pressure. When Alejandro later said he wanted to travel before college, Carmen was nervous but responded with trust, saying, "How could that experience inspire your art?" This built a stronger bond between them, helping Alejandro follow his true passion. 8. The taboo of preferences among siblings. Imagine a parent's love as a cake, enough to serve everyone. But what happens when we start giving different portions? This is the problem of parental favoritism, which has existed for ages. One Tuesday afternoon, while making dinner, Carmen said to Alejandro, "I wish you were as organized as your sister. Look how neat her notes are." The silence was heavy. Alejandro looked down, clearly hurt, and Sofía squirmed in her seat. Carmen realized her mistake too late. Research shows that even small signs of favoritism can hurt self-esteem and sibling relationships. To avoid this, Dr. Daniel Siegel suggests mindful parenting, which means recognizing our preferences and choosing how to act. Carmen gathered her children and said, "I made a mistake comparing you two. Each of you is special in your way." This opened a conversation where Alejandro shared he felt undervalued, and Sofía revealed the pressure to be organized. Inspired by the idea that play shows character, Carmen started family game nights where each child could shine. She learned to praise effort instead of talent, saying, "I'm impressed by how hard you worked." By spending individual time with each child, Carmen made sure they both felt loved and valued. 9. The power of wise silence. Imagine your words as stones thrown into a pond, creating ripples. Carmen discovered the power of wise silence as a mother. One afternoon, while watching her children play, she resisted the urge to step in during their argument and chose to observe instead. They worked things out on their own. By paying close attention, Carmen became their trusted friend, allowing her children to share their thoughts and feelings freely. But how can we implement this wise silence in our daily lives? Here's a practical guide. 1. The 5-second rule. Count to 5 before responding. This pause helps you consider if your words are necessary. 2. The mirror technique. Reflect what your child says instead of offering opinions. For example, it seems you feel frustrated with that assignment. This helps them process emotions. 3. The power of questions. Ask questions instead of giving answers. For instance, what do you think you could do in that situation? This encourages critical thinking. 4. Shared moments of silence. Engage in quiet activities like drawing or sitting together. Shared silence can be as meaningful as deep conversations. 5. Reflective pause. When your child shares something significant, take a moment to respond. Say, "That sounds important. Let me think about it." This shows you value their words.